And welcome to Recovery Report Live. I'm Dan Odess, president of GlobalPro, where we manage risk to recovery, and we have managed more than $1 billion in recovery for policyholders. We've also placed thousands of policies for business owners and community associations nationwide, and we're doing more and more of that every day. Why? Because the insurance market is tough. You need representation, whether that's placing insurance or recovering from loss. That's what we do here 24/7, 365. And I want to say a big, heartfelt, happy holidays to all of you, and thank you for continuing to tune in, for your commitment and dedication and feedback on these shows and many other things that we do here at GlobalPro to make sure that you have the information you can use. That's what it has always been about, is to be innovative with it, to be creative in ways to deliver to you content that means something, that is meaningful and useful to you as a business owner, a property manager, a board member, or just a homeowner. We want to make sure that you have the information you can use, mostly related to insurance, but we always dabble in some real estate, basic business principles and practices that we think are in the best interest of our clients and policyholders throughout the country. We want to make sure that you are aware of the trends and issues that are going to impact you, whether you're transacting insurance in Florida, Texas, New York, New Jersey, throughout the United States. We want to make sure that you have that information you can use, actionable information that is meaningful to your business or association. So again, happy holidays to all of you. We are in the crux of the holiday season. We have I love the jingles, I love the music, I love the feeling and the emotion and the giving that goes on with regards to the community and the things that we're doing to help our fellow communities and in their recovery efforts, but also in these times when, perhaps someone is at home alone or just needs another seat at a table and just wants to be around family. I love what goes on, and I love the heartfelt messages. I love just the pure emotion that goes on during the holiday season. It just seems to be uplifting, promising. It carries a lot of hope into the new year, and I want to continue that. I want to be a part of that, and that's, again, part of my message today is let's be optimistic about what's going on. However, we can't ignore the changes that are going on right now, particularly in Florida with regards to insurance. We spend a lot of time on this show talking about it. Why? Because Florida is a bellwether state for a lot of changes that go on throughout the country as it relates to insurance. For whatever reason, while the state of Florida for such a long time has been a consumer-friendly, policyholder-protecting state, there's been issues on the side of the insurance companies with regards to rating and costs of insurance, and there's a lot of confusion about it, and this discussion about a strained market and it difficult to get insurance and insurance companies being attracted to the state of Florida. And a lot of blame has been placed on first contractors, public adjusters, attorneys, pretty much anyone or anything other than the insurance companies themselves. And more recently, through another special session, the second special session of this year, more anti-consumer legislation was being proposed by none other than Senator Boyd and a few other of his squad over there that clearly are on the take with these insurance companies. There's just no qualms about it. I mean, they are absolutely pioneering a market that is only pro-insurance company, that absolutely strips consumers of much of any of their rights, despite the clear evidence that these insurance companies are making more money than historically they ever have, in many different ways that you may not be aware of as a consumer. And there's some interesting things happening, right? And what I found most interesting is shortly after this more recent Senate bill passes, just this past week, on Monday, December 19th, 2022, I open up the Insurance Journal, as I often do, to see what the hot topics are for the insurance industry at large. Because again, GlobalPro is in various different markets throughout the country. Our clients own assets throughout the world. I want to know what's going on in the insurance industry, whether it's impacting insurance agents, brokers, the market, whatever it may be, health, life insurance, death and dying benefits, workman's comp, property insurance. Now, while GlobalPro doesn't specialize in many of those, which is, health, life, and death and dying, or workman's comp, it's important to see the changes that are going on in what the insurance companies are doing and reforms that they're looking for, or issues that may be going on in those markets, because again, as I've noted in previous broadcasts, these insurance companies are diverse in their investments and also diverse in the products that they offer, et cetera, et cetera. So, while it's not particularly related to, let's say, property insurance, income losses, E&O, D&O, theft, and various other construction, again, changes in the insurance market at large can, have a sort of a domino effect or trickle down effect, wherever you want to look at it. So it's important to stay up on those things. So on Monday, December 19th, 2022, I open up the Insurance Journal, and there's this little section. It's right there on the homepage. It says the most read articles, right? And it gives you the top trending stories. And it was one of those moments. I had my coffee. I'm sitting there. I got my kids. We're eating some oatmeal and some fruit, nice little healthy breakfast. And I got a healthy dose of reality from the Insurance Journal. First story, top trending story, Monday, December 19th, 2022. We'll go down in history right here. Florida Governor DeSantis signs bills seeking to stabilize insurance market. Now, we'll get to how it absolutely didn't do that and how that is totally and completely misleading. Even the Republicans and various other people that were supporting these bills, and this is not a political statement, he've even come out to say that, one of them said, it's not a direct quote, said that the market's been sick for a long time and there's no quick remedy for it. Another one said it's going to take years for us to see, now again, these are all the people that supported these bills. So Governor DeSantis is saying these bills are seeking to stabilize the insurance market. We know that it absolutely did not. Even the people that were supporting it do not believe that it has any way will have any sort of short-term, and I would even argue long-term impact on, because some of the projections here, one of them went on to say 18 to 24 months. You're talking about 2 more storm seasons. We're in the middle of an economic downturn. We have a huge, there's a war still going on, etc. I go on and on about why just alluding to some 18, 24 month period is total bullshit. The entire thing, this does not stabilize anything, okay? The second top trending story on the Insurance Journal, Florida Insurance Commissioner resigns, gives no reason or future plans. Well, if you're on the consumer side of things, this was great news. But the timing of it is everything to us, right? They get their second special session. They're applauding their success in getting this reform done, which does nothing to stabilize the market, strips consumers of more rights, it limits their access to courts to hold these insurance companies accountable, on and on, okay? The third top trending story, December 19, 2022, is independent adjusters charge Florida insurers with doctoring damage estimates. Now, there was dozens of independent adjusting as well as other testimony from many others about why this legislation will do nothing to help the citizens of Florida that buy insurance. It will do nothing and will simply, again, it will make the insurance companies that decide to transact here probably more profitable, but maybe not. I don't even think it's going to encourage them to even sell insurance in Florida, be frank with you, and we'll get the last top trending story here as to why. All right? And so you have the Florida, and this is the last, okay? So again, these are top trending stories. December 19, 2022, I'm drinking my coffee, I'm eating breakfast with my kids. First one's Florida Governor DeSantis signs bill seeking to stabilize insurance market. Total bullshit. Florida Insurance Commissioner resigns. Gives no reason. Independent adjusters charge Florida insurers with doctoring damage estimates. There's such clear evidence that they were doing it. And these are the largest insurance companies in Florida right now that are complaining that they are not profitable enough, despite paying their CEOs millions upon millions of dollars in the same years in which they're claiming they have no money and are losing money, need to leave and can't sell, and are lobbying for rate increases and further anti-consumer legislation. The last story is Florida's Senate committee passes reform bill, quote, would make citizens non-competitive. Why? Well, I mean, let's be honest. It's going to be the only insurer left anyways, because again, these bills did nothing to stabilize the insurance market. Mark my words, there is no way that what was passed in either special session in 2022 that was signed by Governor DeSantis did anything to protect the interest of consumers or help them financially in any way gain access to insurance or make it more affordable. There's absolutely nothing. In fact, what I find most interesting is that and this is not a political statement, but what I find most interesting is that being supportive of insurance reform for the benefit of insurance companies is not pro-business. I don't give a shit what anyone ever says about it. It's not pro-business. It's actually the complete fucking opposite. Okay? It's the complete opposite. These insurance companies do not account for a large labor force, right? They do not make massive hirings. In fact, you actually saw significant layoffs here in 2022 from insurance companies. They're not adopting technology to expedite the processes around claims, right? The purpose of buying insurance is that if you have a loss, they're not making it more, they're not. I mean, I've quoted in prior episodes, InsurTech CEOs complaining that while they were funded with billions of dollars, and InsurTech happened to be one of the golden childs of these SPACs and investments that were coming from VCs over the last several years. There was a massive interest in trying to make insurance companies more efficient through InsurTech and investments. But the irony, though, is that there was a lack of adoption. It's fat. I have a tech company. We do InsurTech. I can guarantee you I'm very much involved in it. I'm not looking for money for raising it. We've been developing and building it here with our team. And the products are fantastic, and I cannot wait to bring them to market in 2023. The reality, though, is that there is a total lack of adoption on those sides. So it's not pro-business. They're not adopting technology to make the processes any more efficient or better for the consumers. They're not doing those things. It's not pro-business. Why? Because this is a tax on businesses, right? This is the insurance rates. They do not expect there to be any relief. I mean, the senators stated, right? We have one of which who supported the bill, GOP Republican Bob Rommel, okay? He said it will take some patience for the homeowners to see insurance savings, but that the legislation that passed is worth it. It will take some patience. They're asking us for patience when we as consumers have been dealing with these issues for so long, despite there were times when the legislator was strong on insurance and fought back against the insurance companies' initiatives and demanded accountability and better reporting standards, right? Which many of which were, again, if you remember at prior broadcasts when we were talking about the last special session, they were asked about the reporting, the actual financial information to support their entire platform for reform to curb consumer rights. And it was said that, well, we read the bill differently and that's not due until next year, 2023. Well, here we are again, right? It'll take patience. They need our patience, but we don't. But on their side, it's okay to run and make these changes and reforms to strip the consumer. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. And again, another senator who also applauded the bill and said that the market was sick and that there's no easy remedy to it, but we needed it. Again, I'm trying to figure out what you accomplish, right? If there was no short-term plan to help the market, then what exactly are you doing when we're in a major economic downturn? How are you not seeking some immediate relief in the insurance market when right now small businesses and business as a whole need the relief, need the help? It doesn't make any sense. Fundamentally, it makes no sense at all. And fundamentally, if you look at the changes that were being made, they don't make any sense. Now, I quoted Bob Rommel here. Why? The representative Bob Rommel. Why? Because, in 2018, he actually used a public adjuster. He also, and what I've been told, hired an attorney to fight back against his property insurer when they did not pay him properly and filed a civil remedy notice in 2018, went through the whole process of it to hold his insurance company accountable. But the legislation that was being proposed and sponsored by him, and you can find this stuff out online, this is all fact, in fact would have changed the consumer's access to those things and the impact that they would make on the process. But it was good for him then, but it's not good for us now. And I struggle with that because, again, supporting insurance is not pro-business. It's not. It absolutely fundamentally is not. Many of these insurance companies for which are to benefit, to profit from these changes in legislation aren't even American businesses. It's like, it almost, it's tantamount to nearly like anti-American, I would say, in some ways, right? And you have, I mean, I was having dinner with an attorney that actually helps with the receiverships, and he was telling me that one said insurance company who was put into receivership by the state of Florida, who allegedly had reserves, who's now making money, is trying to actually to encourage the state of Florida and the auditors and everything else to allow them to continue operating, but they won't. Okay. Instead, it falls on the backs of the unfortunately the backs of the Florida citizens to support these things. In fact, in many of the legislative changes talks about these reform bills and things like that. Again, it does not do anything to help businesses. That is misleading. It's not going to help the consumer at all. They say 18, 24 months. I will go on record as saying I think that's total nonsense. How could you possibly predict that or even insinuate that? It's so misleading, so misleading. It's just stupid. It limits homeowners' rights. The law effectively replaces the prevailing consumer attorney fees, which has been in place for 100 years. Okay? It repeals recent reforms that have helped decrease litigation. Yeah, you heard me right. It literally repealed recent reform that is actually shown to decrease litigation. Even though a lot of this was championed because and said to curb, or was the justification for it was that this rampant litigation that was going on, we need to get rid of it. But the irony, though, is that it actually repeals some of the reform that from the last session that did decrease the litigation. It creates unnecessary and costly burdens for policyholder. Okay, and I'm summarizing here, and I'm reading from my notes just to make sure that you have all these facts here. What this legislation did was it means that the insured cannot fight their carrier for at least 150 days after having suffered a disaster. 150 days. Enforces extremely limiting timelines on policyholders to file claims. Unprecedented timelines that you don't even see throughout the rest of the United States, in most states throughout the U.S. It is crazy. Ensure timelines to adjust claims and lax penalties and enforcement, right? It limits access to courts. It imposes mandatory binding arbitration on policyholders. It unfairly burdens property owners after a loss. There's so many things that go on. It supports taxpayer-funded bailouts for insurance companies. Like I said, it falls on the backs of the Florida citizens. Now, many of the stuff is available, and I encourage you to go on to the various different websites. There's blogs out there. There's articles being written about it. But remember, a lot of times there's two sides of a story. Here, I'm really having a hard time, first off, believing that there is any other side of the story other than that this is highly anti-business, highly anti-consumer, and in no way is going to actually help the insurance market in Florida. To say that it's going to take 18 to 24 months, to say that we need patience, that there's no easy pill for it, when we're in the midst of an economic downturn, that we need relief, that there is clearly an issue, and you cannot accomplish that, and you applaud and champion this legislation that, quite frankly, all it did was, again, strip consumers of rights, didn't help our insurance market, and in fact, there's so much hypocrisy going on because senators out there use these processing systems to benefit themselves, but now want to limit your access to them or the impacts of them on an ongoing forward basis after they've already received a benefit from it. And these are facts. These are facts. We're talking about facts here that do not make any sense. And sadly, as we head into 2023, I do not see any real light at the tunnel for the insurance market. I've said it before. But despite all of this, I actually do think in this next legislative session, I'm hoping through some continued efforts by many different trade organizations as well as lobbyists that the message will be heard. I carry hope. I hope at some point they wake up and realize the disaster and the issues that they have created by passing these ridiculous bills. They do not make sense. They don't help consumers. They don't help businesses. And I hope that resonates with you out there. I hope that motivates any listener that is watching this or hearing this to take action. You can send emails, send letters. You can call their offices, talk to them about these things. Ask them for the facts. When they say that there's this extraordinary amount of property insurance litigation going on, we don't pay for our insurance with statistics. We pay for insurance with dollars. Show me the dollars. Show me the losses. Show me how much these executives, the insurance companies, are making in the same time in which they are being bailed out by the state of Florida. Go research Pose. The state of Florida had to go back and try to claw back over $100 million paid to executives and their family members when the state of Florida and its citizens are bailing out an insurance company that's bankrupt. They've made it there is a lack of accountability in reporting. We're bailing them out after they've paid themselves and family members and friends and colleagues millions upon millions of our dollars, essentially. I mean, that's what it comes out to, right? Right? To do what? To bankrupt the company? You get rewarded for doing that right now. That seems to be the standard. All right, this is my opinion. This is what I how I interpret these things and how I see them. And the timing of some of this stuff just makes absolutely no sense. I mean, to file a surrendering notice, to fight an insurance company that doesn't pay you properly because you're upset over doing it, and then to limit a consumer's access or the impacts of these things in a way that advantaged you doesn't make any sense. It does not add up. Particularly when you're asking for patience. Where were your patience? You were fed up, so you took action. Now you want me to have patience. You want me to wait longer. Why you didn't? Then why should you have the ability or have the advantage then, but I don't have it now? It's not fair. It doesn't make sense. We need accountability. We need reporting standards to be changed. If those things happen, we'll see real change here in Florida. We'll see real near-term impacts and changes. This stuff, long-term, you cannot account for this stuff long-term. It means nothing. It literally didn't do anything. I truly believe you will see absolutely no change in the market. If an insurance company decides to start selling here, I'd probably fact check and start researching where their money's coming from, how they're being funded, and I would monitor and watch them over the next couple of years to see how successful they're doing it. I mean, look at Western Insurance and a few of these others whereas the golden child we're supposed to be helping bail out citizens. Non-competitive, yeah, because its citizens will probably ultimately be, again, the largest insurer in the state of Florida, despite changing the standards and them not getting insurance. Well, what are you going to do when there's no other access to insurance in the market? And we're paying more for less coverage, as we mentioned many times. And if there's anything that we can do to help your business owner, your business as a business owner, or your community association as a manager or a board member, understand how these changes impact you, let us know. Reach out to us. Check us out online at GetGlobalPro.com, or hey, make sure you're hitting that subscribe button, like us, follow us on all the social media platforms. We make it easy for you to get access to us. We make it easy for you to get access to information. We have so much great, awesome, cool, just awesome marketing that's coming out that's going to be full of information. It's not just some sales tactic. It's actually going to be useful, meaningful, actionable stuff that you're going to be able to use as policyholders. Look for the latest edition of Claims Advocate. It's coming soon. We have thousands of copies that are going to get distributed to property managers and business owners and community association managers. We're going to make sure that you all have the information you can use. So again, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, like us, follow us on all our social media. We want to make sure that you have that information. And we'll see you right here, same time, same place, for what may be the last broadcast of 2022. I'm excited for the new year. I'm excited for what's to come. Despite all the legislation and all the lack of effort to protect you as a consumer, we're going to do our part. We're going to make sure that you as consumers have that information, and we're going to continue to make sure that we're taking action to help you, to advantage you as a consumer. And despite all of the changes that are going on, we are going to help you through this process. We're going to make sure we make a difference. So reach out to us, let us know. We'll see you same place, same time, right here on the Recovery Report Live.